Approval of the 2012 year-end financial report. Amazing. All right, Richard.
Hello. Okay, 2012 summary financial report. I've talked to you about this before. We need to have this. We don't actually. There's no state law saying that we need approval, but I needed to have it completed for the city to move forward on the annual report, so that we could get the audit to the audit. And it's taken a great deal of time to wade through what was 2012 and put together something that I felt confident in, and that's what we have in front of you. We met with the finance committee. I met with the finance committee last week, and they had a weekend to go over it, and there were no questions to address. We talked a little bit about some of the pie chart information, and that was about it. So if you have any questions regarding this, one thing, as I stated there, I talked to the state auditor, and they like when councils do approve these reports, because it shows that they're interested, they're watching it, and there's accountability. So.
Questions from council? Is there a motion from council?
Motion to approve receipt of the year-end financial report.
Second. Director P.C.S.
It's great relief to finally have financial statements for the end of last year before the end of this year.
Councilmember Holton.
Financial statement.
Any other comments from council? Councilmember McMahon.
So actually, I'm thinking back to the discussion about the lost grant. Is that reflected? I mean, I guess we don't book anticipated grants in our financial reports, do we?
We shouldn't. Let me put it that way. So right now, we have budgeted grants for 2014, quite a few, and I'm holding Mr. Morgan quite accountable to make sure that those are real. Because I'm not going forward with a budget where we might lose grants. You're right, correct.
Yeah, because I didn't see, is probably most of the reaction from council, as I looked at them, I didn't see the reflection of that, but
right.
Now that I say it out loud, it makes sense why. But no, I don't have a question.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Questions from the audience? All those in favor of approval of the 2012 year-end financial report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of the 2013 third quarter financial report.
Part two. I hit the finance committee with quite a bit, and my purpose wasn't to overwhelm them with numbers or pages, but was to get us caught up. The third quarter report, also, I'm confident in. We are trying to just get everything going forward so we can work on the last quarter. As you can see, we increased our cash position quite a bit, and I think that is due to really just not working on any of the major projects this year. So there's a lot of money sitting in some of the funds that hasn't been touched, and that's going to change over next year for sure, as you'll see in the budget when it comes out this Friday. So is there any questions about, and from going forward, I'm going to bring a report quarterly to the council, monthly to the committee, unless the council would like any changes to that. And once P.C.S goes online, and they're getting closer, and I talked to them today, we'll have department roll-up financial reports so that I can bring that to council, so it won't be quite so overwhelming as, you know, one of these, about like 50 pages, 60 pages. So it would be something that maybe you might be more interested in other than the fund level, even though that's what you're past the budget at. So is there any questions about any of my...
Councilmember McMahon.
So looking at the general fund, the ending cash balance for the quarter, and I see in your summary and then also in the table itself, it's down $206,000. So it's down from the 2012 year end, or down
Correct.
from Q2?
No, this is a year-to-date quarter report.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be clear on that. So it's after this, once I have the new software up and going, you'll get year-to-date and quarter-to-date. Okay.
So the 200,000 that were down from end of the year last year, we expect to make up that, I would imagine, actually more than that, 200,000, just in our October property tax collection.
October and November, I've looked at October's numbers. So far, they're good, but they're not, what's going to be in November. So that's what I anticipate as well, yes.
So it's nothing to worry about.
Any other questions from council?
I'd
Councilmember
just
Putnam.
like to comment that it's wonderful to see that we do not have any negative month-end balances after 18 months of not knowing where we were.
I guess,
Councilmember
Sure.
McMahon.
senior services and park fund both have they're, compared to year-end of 2012, they're down 35 and 13,000 respectively. Off the top of your head, are you remembering are those a decrease in the income to those funds or an increase on the expenditure?
It's more of an increase in the expenditures. I think there's less giving or donations. That's down a little bit. I think also I had to look, but I'm pretty sure that the transfers are less from the general fund. I may have to increase that with a budget amendment. I'm watching that really closely because, yes, you're right, those are not, and I project that for 2014 as well, an increase in the interfund transfer for those two funds.
Yeah,
So
we're looking at, senior services got a month-end balance of $1,700.
It was in the red. So there was an adjustment needed to be made because when they had the director for services, community services, it was all being funneled to senior services, and I went in and looked to see, and it was improperly done by Springbrook. Fixed that, but that's why we have a positive balance barely, so we're really watching it closely. We're working with the director, it was Darcy. We're working with Darcy to see if we can get any more grants, because you're right, that's been hit pretty hard this year, and it's revenue neutral, but we need to watch it.
Any other questions from council? Do I hear a motion from council?
Move to approve, third quarter, 2013 financial report.
Second.
Would you like to speak to your motion? Councilmember Burton? Any other questions from council? Any questions from the audience? Or comments? Questions, comments? Thank you. Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approval of the 2013 third quarter financial report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the appointment of the finance director. And I wanted to bring this forward, and I wanted to explain to council why I did not bring this to workshop prior to bringing it to council, and there's a couple reasons for that. One of them is we've all been working with him for the past 3 months. I felt you all knew him pretty good and had a good feel for the studios as well. The position was posted, and the position ended on Friday. Got a few resumes, went through them, only a couple that really were maybe even qualified, but I decided to bring Richard forward based on his past experience and what he's been doing for the city. The other reason why I brought it now is, as you know, we hired him through the temp agency. And we have to pay the temp agency price from pay period to pay period. We meant to have this in before October 25th, but we missed the deadline, so it had to end up going all the way through October 5th. The pay period for this pay period ends November 3rd. If I waited till the next workshop and then to the next council meeting, it would cost the city another $1,500 for me to wait until then to get it in front of the next council meeting. So I decided to bring him forward and hope that council would be willing to entertain this recommendation for the appointment and save the city about $1,500 and continue moving forward so that we can continue moving forward with our budget and all the other things that we have brought forward. In the 3 months' time that he has been here, it's very obvious tonight we now have a year-end. We have a third quarter report, and we have preliminary 2014 budget. In the 3 months' time that he's been here, he has put in a lot of time and has worked well with other staff in working with the budget and working with staff in the finance department to get everybody on board and moving forward with the new software system we plan on implementing and getting things up to speed and getting the city to move forward. So he's well qualified for the position, and that is the reason that I am bringing him forward. With that, I will open it up if council would like to ask Richard any questions.
Can you describe your relationship or your experience working with unions and during union negotiations?
When I worked for the city of Carnation for 6 years, we had a union there that was both public works and administrative based. And I worked on the committee to first of all, when they brought the union in, to negotiate with the union up close for years, for all those years we had them there, as far as new collective bargaining agreements, as well as bringing in new positions. And then before I was in government, I worked with the unions, and as far as negotiating as an assistant manager for a private company quite a long time ago. So I have extensive experience working with the unions and negotiating that way. Sure.
So any other questions from Councilmember McMahon?
So I see that you're, according to your resume, you've also, side consulting with small businesses and nonprofits. How have you managed to balance that between the hours you put in here and the hours doing that additional?
Right now, I haven't been consulting as much as I did before, but usually, yeah, you're right. Right now, I'm imbalanced to here, which has to be the case because of the things to get done. Ordinarily, though, like say I work with my church to help out there or with a nonprofit, I'll just make the time usually at night or on the weekends. It's kind of like a labor of, I hate to say this, but kind of love that I like to work with these numbers. My wife calls it an addiction, but but yeah, I make it work, and sometimes I have to be careful not to burn out. So.
Any other questions from council? Councilmember McMahon?
I guess I have another one. We've got an interesting perspective, I think, that having been here for
3 months.
3 months, a few months, and you got to kind of try out the job before you really put in for it. So I guess kudos to us that you put in for it, and you're knowing what it's like. I'm trying to figure out how to word this so I don't put you in a spot. Maybe I won't ask you to answer, but sometime if you haven't already over the next couple of weeks and months, I'd be curious I hope that you would chat with the mayor, maybe you already have, about how you would design the finance department to make sure that it fits best with what your sense of the city's needs are. It's always a unique perspective of somebody new coming in. You know, there's the new right when you jump in and you have really no idea what's going on. And then there's, you know, kind of the renewal opportunity now of, you know, I've been asked to come in as finance director. Now that it's kind of my shop, what I do is still structured the same way. I don't want to put you in awkward spot of having you answer that here and say, well, you know.
I don't find that awkward at all. I just want to keep the meeting brief. I tend to go on sometimes. So what I will say is my past prepared me for this somewhat. And coming in, I recognized that there were issues I didn't like the way it was being run. But I also don't want to change everybody around me because it makes it harder for them to function. So I try to keep staff on an even keel while I'm changing things on my end, and then teach them how to do better practices. Some of the practices learned take a while to unlearn. And so that's what's going to change over the next, weeks, months. But right now, just getting everything done, keeping staff focused, working, and not changing everything. Because we've probably all been with people that say, well, the way I used to do it, or I'm going to do it now. You don't want to come in and do that because it would make a bad situation worse. And so I recognize that, but I also recognize what needed to be done. And it's exciting to be able to bring, your perspective, like you said. And I didn't even think when I first started that would be an option that I was interested in. But it's become, it has, turned out a fervor for it. And I think allowing the staff to keep working the way they were, but making sure they were successful at it has been really a good challenge, and I enjoyed it.
Councilmember Hope.
I've asked this question of all of them before, appointed employees for the past 6 years. You have an allergy? No.
No, I have no allergy to peanuts.
You're not gonna do anything?
What is the rest of it?
No, I'm allergic before the pay.
I make the budget, so I know this.
All right, any other questions from council? And I did put on the agenda that we could go into executive session to have a discussion prior to making a motion. So the council like to defer the motion until after executive session. All right, excellent. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is holidays.
In the past, last couple of years, we've got out of the habit of doing this, but in the past, every time it's close to the fall, the council will put a motion on the floor so that it would get posted in a proper manner. So I move that we post the closing of City Hall for the 11th of November.
Second?
Second.
Would you like to speak any further to that motion?
A lot of people still work on Veterans Day, Thursday, let them know when we close and, that would be the thing over there.
Councilmember Putnam, would you like to speak to your second?
No further comments?
So, any other comments from council? Councilmember McMahon.
So I hate it didn't have people thinking that if you take a motion from council to observe a holiday and post it, I think the mayor would probably make sure that it was posted anyway.
It doesn't take a motion from council for a holiday, it takes a motion from council for the City Hall.
Councilmember Walker.
I don't remember doing this in the past for holidays, with the exception of around Christmas, Thanksgiving, because of the way the union contract's written with certain days off. We've done that in the past, or we've closed City Hall if there was a Friday in between the holiday and the weekend, and it's given people the opportunity to take vacation or come in and work. So I think that's the time we've done this in the past. But
That's what I remember. Councilmember Steiger.
I don't recall a regular holiday that's posted in our holiday off schedule that we've ever done this very well. All we're doing is a formality anyway. We're wasting more time and just say yes to it and get it over.
Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to ensure that we post the holiday for Veterans Day?
Can we include all holidays and not just this one? We don't have to do this again? Meaning, this will cover all future holidays?
We have to amend the motion.
Sorry.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any comments on the amendment? Would you like to speak to your amendment?
Leave it again, it's all, and then we're covered, good to go.
Okay. Councilmember Putnam.
How do you follow?
It would be useful to post it in advance for any holidays when it's going to be closed. I think we've gotten much better communications out of City Hall recently, and I think we should be able to trust the administration to post such things.
Any other comments from council?
Wait, you sure?
Comments from the audience on amendment?
Dan run on another 20 minutes.
Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Opposed? So, all those in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, motion carried. Thank you very much. So, consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Victor, did you motion?
I believe every member of the finance committee had a chance to review the payables. They're all in order as far as I'm aware. Anybody else have any?
And they're great. They're perfect.
Would you like to speak to your second? Comments from the council or audience? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, we will now convene for executive session for about 15 minutes with possible action after.
And I make a motion to adjourn to executive